we have other bells and whistles that we've added to the act, but we didn't have any of this. You know, the microfoggers, the steam that comes out of us. Like that's a newer addition to the group. It's like the last few years. The lights and stuff, obviously, that's the concert. And there are sound effects now, not necessarily with robots. We have like more when bebop comes on and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's definitely stuff that adds to it, but the majority of it is still exactly what we did in Balboa Park. Maybe just a little bit more instrumentation now, because now we have like guitar and stuff. Oh boy.
Definitely. More instrument. That's another thing, is balancing. If ever you're playing an instrument and trying to do the robot at the same time, that definitely takes getting used to.
I've seen some fan bots with guitars and stuff, you know, actually play instruments too, and I haven't been able to witness most of what they are able to do, but you know, when you have a guitar, it severely limits what you're capable of doing with the robot. So Honeybee is a good example of trying to make use of all of your, because that was like heavily choreographed. We like doing that every once in a while with songs because it's kind of impressive, you know. Even though you're doing simple movements, everyone's doing something similar. And you know, when you have a guitar, there's not much you can do. You can be like, you can turn, or you can do this, or you can go like that. So we do that, and we step back and forth, and that's really what we can do. You know, because you gotta keep playing and whatnot. When you don't have an instrument in front of you, then you're kind of more freed up to do whatever you want. But it's a lot of leg movements. What's the other one we haven't played in a while, but Steamboat Shenanigans, which is actually on our new Blu-ray, so if you'd like to take a look at those movements.
More expert advanced movements.
There's some nice leg movements there. They're all standard stuff, nothing like too complicated, but it looks nice when you get three people doing it together.
And it looks awful when somebody gets off.
It happens, but
when somebody starts Honeybee wrong direction. That's never happened though, so.
Every show is perfect. Yeah. What's great is that we can actually mask it because you just draw attention to it and be forgiven by just malfunctioning. You're just like, what?
And importantly, we're not being a serious robot act.
We are a company. We are not a
serious act of people pretending to be robots.
We're serious about our comedy. We're serious about being...
Yeah, not serious.
So that way we get away with a lot of that. So when something terrible goes wrong, I can't imagine the worst thing going wrong during a show because I think it was Youmacon year 1 that we had a battery die on stage and we thought it was the microphone that died, so we spent 20 minutes trying to fix it, of course.
What are you gonna do, break character? You can't not be the robot. Oh crap, okay, well I better eat the sandwich while we wait for the stuff to come on.
So first Youmacon that we came to was about 2 years ago. You know, Bunny went off stage and Sam and I just talked for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, and it was funny. I don't know what we talked about.
I don't remember.
It's somewhere on YouTube. Someone filmed it. There was something about discoing and I don't know.
Oh, Gangnam Style. You did a little Gangnam Style.
Yeah, I was going to do that too. That was popular that year. That was, so, you know, improv is also, with the robot stuff.
I know, yeah.
If you want to choreograph something, it might be a good place to start if you're trying to work out a little robot routine. But what we find most natural is what you can just do on the spot, because you don't want to be thinking about the stuff, usually. You just want to get in the mindset of doing the robot movements. So instead of, when you're reaching for something, you know exactly how you're going to reach for it, but it's not rehearsed.
It's definitely one of the lowest. The highest, I think, on the list of stuff that you should have that is like breathing is definitely what you're playing on your instrument, because that is the thing that you want to commit to your muscle memory, because that's the thing that sounds the worst when you don't do it right. But when you can't speak right or you can't do the movements right, it's like it's dust in the candle in the wind or whatever else.
So if you're up on stage with us and you're playing an instrument with us, then you're gonna want to make sure you get the instrument first. But yeah, so fan bots and stuff like that. There's probably a lot more leeway. Most of the times you're not.
I don't think so many people embrace the movement, which is fine. You know, it's like cosplay doesn't have to go that extreme, but it's cool. Right?
I say it for the stage.
We were probably interested. Makeup. We should probably move on to.
Yeah.
Because that's.
Let's talk about mustache upkeep.
I don't think a lot of us have that problem.
I know. It's not all our.
I have a mustache for like a month.
We try to forget.
It's a heavy prayer number. I'll wear it gladly.
I only did it for the spine. It was like, okay, I did it. Now I can say I did it. I have pictures. Yeah.
So
Well, the glue came off and then it just went flat.
the basis for our makeup, there wasn't a whole lot of, there's nothing that we could really look to when we first started. There was some robots here and there. You know, there's a couple in Spaceballs. There's drawing inspiration. We just had to go nuts, you know, like and figure out what would work. Basically, it's just mime makeup or clown makeup, but with silver colors. What we try to do is heighten features. For Rabbit, for instance, you know, I mean, we pull out the eyes and the mouth. The same with the spine, you know, he's nothing but eyes and mouth. It's simplistic because of the silver. The silver almost acts as a white. I have a little more of a warmer color, so I try to, you know, I don't know, embrace that by doing the oxidization and stuff, which is a little weird, and it's one of the darker makeups. You actually have a dark makeup too. You're bronze.
That's crazy. Yeah.
You actually have gold.
No, it was always bronze. I think because John was gold, and we were like, yeah, we'll just the fourth robot will be gold.
I thought you had like.
Oh yeah, he's a little gold. Give a little three-dimensionality.
Do you use silver too, or you just use bronze?
Just bronze and gold.
And you use some orange now too, right?
Oh yeah, always. You guys are scared I was gonna look like a clown.
Well, yeah, when we first
I kinda did.
did weird hair colors with robots. We were like, okay, well, mine's gonna be black. It's gonna be black and silver and other colors. And then male rabbit didn't have any hair. Well, early on, it was just
Male rabbit was like a skeleton.
But then eventually it just got to a hat with right? And then, and now we actually have that, but before it was just, you were the first one that did colored hair.
Well, even if you don't have the metallic paint, just segmenting your face and accentuating the moving parts, like, you know, I don't know, that was all I thought of. I wanted to have, you know, round cheeks to make it look like Catwith was always happy or smiling, so I probably don't have to all the time. And the mustache helps with that too, because it's in like a smiling shape, so I could just be like, and people are like, oh, he's so happy.
An optical illusion.
I'm just chewing my tobacco all the time. The paint, man alive.
That's probably the hardest part of the job.
Yeah, it definitely is the thing. I don't know why, it's not even that bad even. It's just something that you don't look forward to in the morning, the first thing in the morning, or...
It's fun though, it's really fun. About the first few thousand times you do it. We change stuff up over the years because it's, you know, we get a little cabin fever with it, if that makes sense.
Our skin starts sloughing off.
But yeah, there's we've done some designs and changed over the years, and we started pretty basic. It was literally the metallic and then like a few lines, and then it just kept growing from there.
It's the easiest to do too. I mean, as far as like prosthetics go, honestly, like the makeup is, you can do a lot with it, and it lasts long, you know. And I can't imagine doing prosthetic work for any time in the near future.
We've seen some fans do some prosthetic work, and it looks really great.
With digital cameras and stuff, you know, it would be smart for us to do, but it's not smart where money is concerned. You know, it would look better on like high def camera, but
or for 13-hour days.
Well, you can still do it. It's just you know, it's just it's just impossible. We don't have the crew for it. It would be a lot of upkeep.
Yeah. The only time I wax a mustache is for the robot makeup, because that's a lot.
So what kind of wax do you use? I don't know.
Mustache wax.
How many people need to know how to do the mustache here? You people want to know the mustache?
There we go. That's what
There's your people.
My people, we shall find the promised land. Mustache. Get a mustache on.
So how do you? So you take the wax first, and then you paint it, or do you use the paint after?
I put the wax on. Hey guys, I put the wax on first, and then I paint it. And I use a straw to drink.
So how do you paint it? I've never seen you do your mustache. I mean, we've shared a room together.
There's a good reason. It's ugly. It's not a good thing to see.
Do you use your fingers to get in the...
I use whatever is around me.
Usually boogers, you just go...
Oh, thanks for all the boogers from last time. Whenever I
I knew you needed a midnight snack.
Yeah, well,